Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here and welcome to another episode of Jambareeqi Cinema, the podcast series where I talk about films that have hit UK theatres. And in this episode, I'll be discussing Blue Sky Studios' newest animated feature, Spies in Disguise. Agent Sterling is a renowned spy, loved by those around him, but when he ends up being framed by the terrorist mastermind Killian, he turns to the eccentric lab technician Walter Beckett to help him disappear. But instead, Sterling is transformed into a pigeon, and Walter insists that the spy uses his new form to help with his mission. While Spies in Disguise is a talking animal comedy on the surface, it's also actually a deconstruction of the whole action movie genre, as it re-evaluates the philosophy of using violence to defeat criminals. Sterling steps into the field with a confident stride, blowing up or knocking out everyone in his way, but Walter insists that there's a less aggressive approach and wants to prove this through his harm-free gadgets. It's amazing seeing a children's film taking this angle, considering how many kids' movies are lacking mercy and redemption for their antagonists, all in the name of traditional good versus evil storytelling structures. But I also love how Spies in Disguise explores the consequences of Sterling's tactics. You see, Killian is the product of Sterling's mass violence approach to his missions, because the spy wiped out Killian's henchmen, and now Killian wants revenge for the murder of his employees. I don't think we're meant to sympathise with Killian, not at all even, but rather see him as the result of fighting fire with fire. How violence shouldn't be the default solution to handling criminals instead of peaceful negotiation or safe apprehension, because it just creates more villains and makes our heroes just as bad as their enemies. The movie also lampoons the whole lone wolf shtick by showing how flawed a one-man team can really be. Because while Sterling is a skilled agent, he has to learn that having backup or objective advice from others can be just as valuable as his own talents. The more Sterling pushes away help, the more vulnerable he becomes, and he must accept that he's still human. Sterling himself is a decent take on the likeable jerk character. I'll admit that's mainly down to Will Smith's charismatic voiceover for him, but it's also because the guy really pulls off his coolness and swagger. He doesn't seem desperate or fake, plus as the film goes along, we do realise that under all his bravado is a compassionate man who wants to do right. In addition, Sterling is actually the only talking animal in the film. All other pigeons are regular birds. Sterling accidentally ends up starting his own flog. This not only pushes Sterling to embrace a team dynamic more, but these pigeons are also very strange, adding to the film's theme of accepting weird personalities. But the thing I love the most is how the movie subverts the masculine stereotype with the character of Walter Beckett. I totally adored this character. Not just because Tom Holland energetically brings him to life, but he's also a wonderful role model for little boys, teaching that men can be feminine, quirky, and affectionate. He's so passionate and excitable about science, but still retains a big heart when it comes to ethics, with protecting as many people as he can being a main priority, regardless of who they are or what they've done. While he may lack Sterling's cocksure attitude, he makes up for that with sheer love and understanding, something that sometimes makes Walter seem like the more composed one because he's so accepting of weirdness. The thing is there's also a team of specialist agents out to track down Sterling, technically serving as the film's antagonists, but really they're just doing their jobs, afraid that Sterling has gone rogue. While we know the truth, the film never frames these three as malicious or stupid, but rather unaware of what's going on, and they do start to see what's really happening because they're smart enough to catch on. Another praise I have to give is how the film has a sense of ambiguity, never resorting to cliché flashbacks or exposition dumping. The dialogue gets across the basic necessities of what we need to know, and characters are smart enough to work out clues. What lets this movie down though is its chaotic momentum. I get that action films are usually fast-paced, but this is a film that can often take that to extremes, becoming more obnoxious than exciting at times. The film will either jump between plot point to plot point at breakneck speed, or frequently find ways to bring excessive amounts of energy to a scene, like it doesn't trust our attention skills. This is a film that takes us to many beautiful world locations, but I couldn't appreciate the gorgeously rendered backdrops because the movie is always on the move, eager to keep the ball rolling or find a cheap gag from what could have been a nuanced moment. Sure, there are some breaks now and again, quiet scenes for character development, but these moments are rare and you have to sit through a lot of nauseatingly over-the-top chase sequences to get to them. Spies in Disguise is certainly on the right path, understanding modern culture's changing times and the younger generation's desire for positive improvement in the world. It's a hard-hitting deconstruction of the action genre and a celebration of non-conforming identities. However, it still suffers from what a lot of Blue Sky Studios movies have, a lack of confidence in the audience. Mistaking frantic for funny and trying too hard to create a mass appeal. It can be very smart, creative and heartfelt at times, but it's also pretty dumb and insulting too. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then feel free to like, subscribe and share. Also, please consider supporting me on my Patreon in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. Cheerio, folks.